Spithill, I like where he is at the moment. He's got the most space. Space is going to be key, and Outeridge looks late at the moment. Has he timed it right? Robertson turns towards the wind, 18 seconds, and he's already on the foils. It's going to be Robertson out of the middle of the line. He's coming in, and Spithill on the foils at 11 seconds. That was Robertson a little early. Spithill, he's straight and true. So is Outeridge at the bottom of the line. It's going to be a drag. Robertson looks early to me, 2 seconds. Breaks the line early in the final. Penalty, Spain must drop behind those two boats. Great start by Outeridge. Great start by the USA.
Penalty Spain relative to Japan.
And they said that I'm going to be early here, but we've got to live with it. The only boat that didn't get a penalty. Oh no, they're all clear, and the Spanish are clear. They drop in behind the Americans.
Fastest angle to Mark 1 is Spithill. He hit that line on the B of the bang. That's Rome Kirby there, happy to continue straight. Keep it simple, you've got the lead. They're going to be ahead at Mark 1, and he wants to stretch to boundary, try and minimise manoeuvres.
The final race of the day here in Italy. Amazing, guys. You think back at the first event down in Bermuda, none of these three boats were in that final race. We've got completely different. And for the USA and Japan, this time in Bermuda, they were both in the dock with damaged boats watching.
Oh, there you go. Outeridge apologising, not happy with his start there. It's tight, second and third, but a good lead. 7 seconds for Jimmy Spithill at Mark 1, and Outeridge won't like Spain trying to push over. Here we are, on board Japan at the start here, trying to find a gap. Outeridge, he's having to come through. Bit late, he will have known here he was struggling, and he had to get the speed on. Wasn't going to end up with as fast an angle of his like. Coming in, and it was Phil Robertson over that line early on the Spanish boat here. Has to turn up aggressively behind the USA boat, clear his start, and then get back in the race, fast towards the next mark. But it was the Spithill, the Pitbull, great start.
So the current situation right now, leg 2 of 6 in the final race of the day. The Americans have the lead, but here comes Japan and Spain quite a bit ways away. See the wind holding around 16 kilometers an hour. Rome Kirby multitasking yet again.
See that straight from the handles to the coffee grinder where he controls that main foil. Flight controller eye, that's flying the big foil that we see the boat balancing on there. Not their best work, but they're up on the foils already, and they've got a comfortable lead. Outeridge in second. Phil Robertson looked for an opportunity, but it's not worked for him yet.
The Americans are stretching here, so what do you do with your Outeridge? Are you going to try and get a split on the Americans, or do you cover Phil Robertson and the Spanish and try and bank your second place? This is where the three-boat finals are really fascinating for me. It's never, never over.
Freddie, if it's me, I'm not looking backwards until this time in a lapse time. Robertson in third, aggressive. You wouldn't expect anything less from Phil Robertson, and in that third place position, what attack. But the Americans at the top of the screen fall off the foils. They've fallen down. Robertson executed the tack well. Look at Botin, straight over on the handles, now down to flight controller, and the Spanish are foiling. That lead will be coming down. Spithill needs to get on the foils soon.
A lovely move by the Spanish. They carried their downwind speed into the roundup and used that speed from the roundup to buy one tack on the upwind and stayed on the foil. And that's why we're seeing them rumbling along here with their speeds, the highest in the fleet, 40 kilometers an hour, versus the other boats in the lighter breeze, only in the 30s and the 20s.
And the Americans finally get it up on foil, but look how much they've lost as Spain has gone from third place. It looks like they're about ready to take over the top spot.
I'm not seeing much more pressure here. Building speed for tack.
Ready for attack here there.
Let's talk about the wind speed on the bow here, Stevie. Live wind speed. I've got the Spanish at 14 kilometers an hour, the Japanese and the USA down at 12, so less breeze where those other two boats are.
Look at that, they're just up on the foils there, the Spanish boat. They are on starboard tack. If it's close, Spitill's going to need to watch out. This will be tight. It looks to me like Outeridge is the big loser at this stage. Is Spithill ahead?
Another close crossing with Spain and Japan. Is this payback time for Phil Robertson?
There's a big loss there for Outridge. He had to do that. But what this tells me at the moment, we're halfway up leg 3. This is pretty much the midway point in the race here, Todd. Any mistakes, and this race is anyone's. So it's a big, big moment here. We're on board with Japan here. He's going to have to dip behind Spain there. Spanish from the right of the screen with the right of way. And Morishima, big workout for him there. We can see on board Spain, Phil Robertson. He'll love that. A little bit of payback, as you said.
So the Americans, once they were down off the foils, have got it back up and running at 33 kilometers an hour, holding on to that first place lead. This is the final race of the day, leg 3 of 6 with United States Sail GP and Jimmy Spithill out in front.
3, 2, 1. Turning.
Really interesting tacking styles there between the Americans and the Japanese. Jimmy Spithill really throwing the boat fast through the tack to keep it on the foil versus Outridge on the Japanese, much more consistent, trying not to lose that crucial speed in the manoeuvre.
Looking like a big loss of distance. That's Campbell James. Can you see the Spanish? No issue, Jimmy Spithill. That's right. It's been a big gain to this side of the course. So we'd call it the right-hand side of the course looking upwind. Lovely gain for Spithill and a gain back for Outridge.
And that's all wind. There's more breeze on the right-hand side of that course. We said it at the bottom, and that rang true at the top.
Here comes Nathan Outridge as they go through gate number 3. This will put them on to leg 4 of 6. It looks like it's going to be a battle between the USA and Japan coming down here. And Spain looks like they just fell into a pocket, just a hole of no wind. And I thought they were going to move into first place, not doing.
It's interesting. There's noticeably more spectator boats. Big crowds out here on the water watching SailGP today, Todd. And those spectator boats potentially blocking the breeze. Here's Spain. They've come back to the side of the course where there was more wind. Could be a chance for Phil Robertson to get himself back in the race. Showing a second at the moment. This is tight.
Fascinating stat come up there in the bottom corner. Look at their average speed, the middle number of the USA, 57 kilometers an hour. That is 6 kilometers an hour faster than the other two boats. It's pretty simple, isn't it, lads? You sail the boat a little bit faster, you're probably going to get out ahead.
Beauty of this racing as well, Freddie. We are powered by nature. We're driven by the wind. If you find more wind, you get rewarded for it. If you use nature better, you get rewarded for it. And that's what we're seeing here with Jimmy Spithill and his American crew. They've done a nice job. Outridge just can't quite bridge the gap back to him. That lead now, look at those ladder lines. Nearly 200 meters for Spithill. And Spain have fallen off the foils at the bottom of the screen here. That could be race over for Spain. Robertson's going to need some in magic from here. Oh, that is annoying, Phil, I agree.
We just lost hydro pressure there, FYI.
Go on, Botin. He's working hard on those handles. That's a hydro pressure drop. Bad time for that to happen. A slight technical or a wrong button, who knows?
Try and go easy on everything here.
That's interesting. They lost hydraulic pressure, Phil was saying in that jibe. He's talking about going easy on everything. You have a hydraulic accumulator, a hydraulic bomb on board the boat, and it only gives you a certain amount of board or rudder or wing movement, and they spent too much oil early in the manoeuvre and they couldn't save it later.
We can see this board here still up in the air in front of us in the middle of the screen. That should have gone down, but here we go. Jimmy Spithill, gate 4. What's the move? Last time at gate 4 here, just one upwind leg left. Oh, that looks bad to me. Bang! Crash down to the water. Oh, Jimmy. Bit of industrial language. I think we can understand with the situation there, a bit of tension on Jimmy. Look at that white water there. That's the boat falling out the water. This is Outridge's chance. Surely you tack on the mark, Nathan. Silky smooth from Nathan Outridge. This is it. The next 2 minutes will define the Taranto SailGP Grand Prix here, because if Nathan Outridge can find more wind, get the boat on the foils, he'll be ahead.
And we know that the right-hand side of that course is better, and that's where the Japanese are going. The Japanese currently have 14 kilometers an hour of wind speed on their bow. The Americans only have 11.
Oh,
they
look
are
at the screen!
stopped.
Jimmy Spithill stopped, and how's Phil Robertson going to get round him? Surely they're not all giving it. He looks like he's broken down, Todd.
Both holes in the water, and the Americans are going nowhere fast as Spain makes the pass. So for the Americans, it's from first to third.
Oh, wow. What a moment in the race here. Nathan Outridge, silky smooth around that bottom mark on the foils. Spain still not back on the foils and floundering at the back. broken down, it looks like to me. Jimmy Spittle and his US crew, oh, that's got to hurt, Fred.
Man, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt so much. You got to feel for them. They started so well, dominated the race. One bad tack in light airs. Sounded like they're having a lot of technical chat about what mode to sail the boat in. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. They're back in third.
That's what... Oh, Nathan's called it. Here we go. We're back for a replay. Look at that. He flies out round the mark. The load on the boat. The boat just flies too high round the mark, overloads the rudder system. Something's gone wrong on board. Then look at the boat leap out the water. That's the problem. No designated flight controller. Rome Kirby was having to do the handles round that mark, Fred.
We've just heard from Ali Vansar on the water reporter. She said they might have hit something. There was some communication about hitting something. We'll get that clarified after the race.
Here we go. Let's get back on the
Broken
course.
rudder. We're hearing they've got a broken rudder on board the American boat.
They flew very high, Fred. I hope we'll find out anyway after the race. Let's get back to the action on the screen. Here we go. We've got Nathan Outridge stretching out. We're just 2 minutes here from the end of this race. One good tack for the Japanese crew, and it could be redemption from Bermuda. Outridge had the crash with the US team in Bermuda, and Outridge is potentially now back in the game.
With Japan out in front, Spain in second, the Americans are dead in the water. We're lucky now to go on board with Jimmy Spithill. Jimmy, can you tell us exactly what's happened?
Yeah, unfortunately we had a massive impact with something under the water. Snapped the rudder off, starboard rudder.
Oh, Jimmy, that's got to be difficult. So frustrating with you guys leading. You were running so well. Meanwhile, Japan and Spain out in front. You pleased with what the boys were able to do with short changes down to 3-man crew for this last race?
Yeah, I mean, we're really executing a perfect race. Built a nice lead. And yeah, all we had to do was sort of get around the mark and head back up to the finish. So, yeah, pretty disappointing, but look, we can't control that. That's, yeah, pretty unfortunate.
All right, Jimmy, thanks for your time. Get home safe. We'll see you guys in Plymouth. Meanwhile, as they approach gate number 5, it is Japan and Nathan Outridge just sailing a near perfect race here, guys.
Fastest boat of the weekend, fastest boat with 3, fastest boat with 5. Look at them go. Really well sailed in this light breeze.
I tell you what, when we were talking to Jimmy Spittle there, Nathan Outridge's heart would have been in his mouth because that lead was coming down. Oh yeah, guys, nice work. I think maybe Morishima was suggesting he was going to open the champagne. A little bit too early.
So with a light breeze and a 3-man crew, and after being eliminated in Bermuda, it's Japan SailGP that comes back to Italy and gets the big victory. Nathan Outridge and crew will take the win here in Italy.
Gotta say it, Phil.
Guys, it's an amazing stat. Japan never out of the top 3 all weekend long.
Sailed perfectly. What a bounce back as well by the Spanish in second place. And I think by locking in a second place here and a 4th in Bermuda, we could have a new leader in SailGP Season 2 with Phil Robertson and the Spanish.
Strong performance by Phil Robertson to make it into the final. They finish as the runner-up. They had to battle just to get into this final race.
Phil sailed very well there, really. I mean, he was over that start line, did a good job coming back, but Nathan kept it tight, didn't go away, no mistakes, pressurized him.
And it was really interesting that Phil Robertson said, we're going to be early here, let's just go, drop behind, hung in the race. It didn't look great for them at the halfway point, but the talking point has got to be the American rudder.
With the lead, the U.S. with just 2 legs to go in the race. As we heard from Jimmy Spithill on board Team USA, they hit something in the water and they break a rudder.
Well, I tell you what, look at that crew there. I think we often can underestimate the importance. Chris Draper, the wing trimmer there, Olympic medalist, several world championships, so reassuring. And Morishima, what a powerful man at the front of the boat. And that crew did so well.
Celebration continues on board Japan SailGP. Nathan Outridge and crew get the win in Italy at the Sail Grand Prix 2nd event. So the final results, Nathan Outridge gets the victory. Spain finishes in 2nd and Spithill finishes in 3rd after that break of the rudder. Unfortunate with them with the lead. New Zealand, Denmark, Great Britain, France, and Australia rounding out. But once again, Japan getting it done. Nathan Routledge and company doing a masterful job. Phil Robertson finishing just behind in second place. Happy to be joined now by Phil Robertson on board Spain's SailGP. Phil, it wasn't your day today, but you guys made it into the final. You gave it a good run. What were the conditions like out there, and when you saw the USA come to a dead stop?
Oh, look, it's in a race like this, you know, with 3 up, there's plenty of opportunities. People are going to make mistakes. And we knew if we're patient after that start, it wasn't our best. There'll be opportunities, and we saw a couple. Unfortunately, we're set up quite nicely in that last downwind.
I just can't say enough how consistency certainly paid off, Nathan, for you guys. You were never out of the top 3 positions all weekend long, and when it counted the most, you come up big on that final race. Take us through that moment when you were coming downwind and you saw the Americans bearing away and looked to be dead in the water, or were you even aware of what happened to them?
Oh, we saw them wipe out at the bottom mark, and you know, as you can imagine, with 3 people on board, you don't have much time to look at the competition, but when they wiped out, it was a really easy decision to tack straight away, and that effectively won us the race. So it wasn't really our perfect race this weekend, but sometimes you get lucky and you got to take it, and we'll thank Jimmy Spittle for that one.
How difficult was it for you guys on race number 4 to go off of that 5-man crew and then dropping down for the final race to just 3? Was that a big adjustment for you, or are you guys prepared for that?
Well, luckily we were sailing with 3 yesterday, so that was a good start. But, you know, because there's different weight categories, we actually have lead on board when we start with 5 because our crew weight's pretty light. So we had to scramble to get the lead off. We had to remember what we were doing yesterday. And you might have noticed some of our maneuvers in that race weren't as good as they were yesterday because we didn't do any training for 3 up today. So quite a big surprise to us, but Chris and Tim did a fantastic job, and as you can see, the whole crew here behind me did an awesome job, and you know, really happy with how we went in Taranto.
We'll get you to the celebration momentarily. You guys had not your best performance and outing in Bermuda, obviously, but you come back here with a strong. You now move up to 3rd place overall on the series. What are your plans, and what do you expect from Plymouth in just about a month's time?
We're obviously very happy to move up the leaderboard, and you know, for us, it's a new team we're building together, so we'd love to keep it in these top 3 races. The top 3 races are a lot of fun for us, and I just want to make a huge thank you to the whole tech team for repairing our boat and the American boat. You know, clearly we had a lot to prove after Bermuda getting a good result, and you know, Jimmy and the boys sailed well all week as well, so we're very happy to be in the top 3, and hopefully we're in the top 3 in Plymouth and charging there with a bit more breeze.
As you look back at this weekend, Nathan, can you give us a summary of what do you think the difference was for you guys? Was it the going to the 3? Was it being prepared to sail with 3? Or was it just being able to find some speed in that very light wind?
There's a lot about the light wind finesse sailing. Whether you got 3, 4, or 5, it doesn't matter. It's about how you harness the power of these boats, and if you can do that and you can keep your maneuvers slick, you do really well. So a lot of light wind training here. We got an extra couple of days, and massive thanks to Russell for letting us get a couple of extra days training. It really made a huge difference for our team. So hopefully we can get to Plymouth, get some more training in, and hopefully we're just as quick when it's windy in the future. I
think the bar is open on Japan SailGP. Nathan, thanks for your time. Go get yourself a beverage.
Got him. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
And the celebration can now begin in earnest on Japan SailGP as they get the victory here in Italy.